Hi, my name is Afsana, the creative director from Indoor by Design. We build beautiful strategic websites and we offer social media training. I've been privileged to be part of the digital transformation over the last few decades and started coding websites as young as 13 years old. My entire company is devoted to creating systems that work, that's simple, and it's efficient. And that's really where we want to be going when it comes to all our digital tools. So, right now, there's a huge craze when it comes to all things digital. We are thinking of putting up online shops, we are doing more and more Zoom webinars, and we are being forced to use digital tools more than ever. And now I just want to open your eyes to something. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's necessarily right for your business. So if you take digital tools, so say something like an online shop, and you have a local grocer, if you want to be beyond that local grocer and start delivering throughout the Western Cape or beyond, wherever you are in the world, that you can start small. You can start by just servicing your customers you already have, but now you need to start thinking what digital tools that they are using, and more importantly, what are you comfortable with? And usability is really the forefront of how digital will work well for your business. So if you're thinking of scaling, definitely go the online shop way. But if your clientele doesn't have a good internet connection, if they don't know how to use the tools, or maybe they just cautious about online shopping in general, which I feel that is still a concern, then maybe something like WhatsApp is better for your business. And you may not think of WhatsApp as a digital tool, but it absolutely is. And since Facebook bought it over, we're seeing more exciting things happening with WhatsApp, like WhatsApp Business, which is your business number attached to that experience, as well as automated responses. And it also syncs really nicely with your Facebook advertising, as well as using that WhatsApp number on your Facebook pages. So that's just a simple thing. Basically, what I'm saying is do something that works for you and something that works for your audience or your clientele. The next thing I want to chat about is just around the psychology and the millennial marketing mindset. And right now, where we are in the world and going forth, we've been seeing a shift even before the virus thing hit of the way people are shifting how they're buying anything. So right now, people are buying on story and on consciousness. So the consciousness could be things like sustainability. Does your product support the community? How long have you been established for? What tools do you use? And these are all the things that goes through the buyer's thinking before they actually buy a product. And in most cases, they buy the product because they like the person selling it to them. You know, when you want to buy anything, the first thing you go to is Google, because Google knows everything and it knows what's right for me. Now, in terms of who wants to buy, that whole process is no longer linear. By linear, I mean if you think in the 70s, 80s, and maybe even a bit of the 90s, when we had door to door salesmen, that's a linear marketing approach. I go to your door, I knock it, and I hope that you will buy my product. And I might even force you to do so. Where marketing has shifted is that people already know what they want and they go out looking for it. So if they know that they need to buy something, so say it's whether it's a equipment or a clothing item, they know what they want and they go search for it. Now the trick in when marketing is that you need to be there when they start looking for you. And this is where things like Google search is a huge factor in your business. Although search engine optimization is changing very dramatically over the last 6 months, and it's uncertain on how much effort you need. Right now, we've been thinking internally, how long does it take to put a proper search engine optimization on a site? And it costs almost the same as doing a website. So do keep that in mind. Google ranking is essential. There are things you can do without paying extra, but you do have to pay something for your web designer to set it up properly so you are ranked on Google. And I have a saying that if you don't exist on Google, you don't exist at all. So keep that in mind with your business as well. The other thing I want to just open is a bit more about conscious marketing is the storytelling. When you are selling your product. You're no longer selling just the product, you're selling everything about it. And people are asking questions like, is it green? Is it eco-friendly? Is it vegan? Is it harming the community or harming my body if I use this product? So things like animal testing, reactions, those type of questions are being asked now. So there's a huge focus on sustainability and caring about our planet. And I feel in our country that there's a strong focus on community. So community upliftment, women empowerment, those are type of purposes that you could ground your business to. And don't feel shy to talk about your causes. And hopefully your cause is aligned to your business principles or your core purpose of existing. So if you are in the food business, a good business to align yourself to is something that helps even alleviate poverty. So one of my clients is Spur Corporation, and they are in the food industry. We all know Spur. And what they do for the initiative, they have the Tummy Fund, which helps support or hungry mouths across the country, and that's a really nice initiative that they started on their own, and it's their own foundation. So that's just some of the ways that you could have your conscious marketing linked up. And the reason why I'm sharing all of this is goes back to humanizing of all your digital spaces. Do not think of your website, of your social media channels as sales brochures. That's absolutely an old-fashioned way of doing marketing. It's all about engagement and it's about connection. And the way we establish that connection is by creating stories, about sharing experiences about our product, to highlighting the conscious side of your items or your services. So in my business, my core purpose is around quality education and sharing that education. That's why I do videos like this, because that's aligned to my business and what we stand for as well. And we also stand for accessibility to all. So in terms of what we offer the world, in terms of our products, about initiatives and talks, we always go back to that. The next thing I want to chat about is just some tools on how to ride the wave, and we will be talking a lot more about digitalization. So in terms of the period we are right now, there are three things that I want you to start paying attention to. The first thing is around pivoting. Pivoting is a term that's been tossed around a lot recently, and I just want to debunk or demystify what that actually means. So pivoting is something, it's not a new thing that came out just because of this virus and us not having to go to work or slowly going to work, but in different forms these days. Pivoting is supposed to exist in your business anyway. So this is what happens in your business when something happens, like a crisis happens. How do you move slightly? So you're not reinventing your whole business model, but you move slightly to cater for where the money is flowing. So money flows all the time. There's people spending money right now. There are people who don't have any as well. So we are sensitive to that in our messaging as well. But in terms of where the money is flowing, you need to position yourself there. So I have a client, her name's Cindy Bam, who designs wedding dresses. So of course there was no wedding industry at the moment. And she pivoted her business to create her designer style and flair and what's important to her, and pivoted it to create designer masks. And these are beautiful, absolutely stunning masks that is animal print. It has sequins on and it's very stylish. So she didn't change her business just to make what everyone else is making. She stuck to her core values, and this is what real pivoting is about. Another pivoting aspect is that you take your current products and then you just shape it in a way that's more accessible to people. So when we started allowing delivery, there was a company in Hout Bay called Clay Cafe who started delivering the ceramic and paints for people to paint at home, and they will bake it once the doors are open. So that's something that they pivoted to, but they didn't change anything. They didn't create new products, but there was a deep consciousness that was attached to this messaging, as everyone who purchased products from us will help us pay the salaries of our workers. And that's definitely the messaging you want to put across right now, but I know a lot that might feel a bit insincere, because you are asking people for something and it might feel like begging. So the trick is how you humanize your posts that you're posting on Facebook or on Instagram, wherever it is. And there needs to be authenticity to it. And the way you do that is by putting yourself in front of the screen. And I know this is quite a new space for people to do video recording, to see themselves even. I think most of us hide ourselves from the mirrors as well. But this is so important to create that human connection. And when I talk about humanizing your digital spaces, that's definitely part of it, is really creating that space where people can connect with you in this digital form as much as we can. So we can't hug and kiss and handshake anyone anymore. So in terms of what we can offer, is we can offer our face without a mask on, and that will help build that connection between you and your customers. The next point I want to chat about is around champions. Now, champions, every time I talk about audience and customers, I actually mean champions. These are the people who will stand by your business no matter what. It could be your existing clientele, or it could just be fans of the business. So fans of the business is people just on the sidelines, but they don't actually buy anything from you yet. But when you post something, they share it with their friends. Maybe it's something interesting or something that they like and they think their friends will find it valuable. So these are the champions you should be nurturing now. And the way you nurture them is by posting interesting social media content that they can share on. You can share just deeper behind the scenes type of information that works really well as well. So tools that you introduce in your business. So when you introduce an online shop for the first time, you market it to your champions first, because people are buying now from people that they trust. And the easiest business that you can have is people that already trust and know you. And this is absolutely critical. So it's difficult, incredibly difficult, just in general, to sell to people you don't know. There's a saying that you need about 7 touch points before someone actually buys something from someone. And keep that in mind. Whereas your champions is already warm audiences. We call them warm. You get cold audiences where you have cold calling. And then you have warm audiences where it's people who know you exist. They know your product's amazing. They trust you. Then when you put any new feature in front of them, they will adopt it a lot quicker. So the company Clay Cafe in Hout Bay, they introduced their online shop only recently, and they are doing really well in terms of selling food products. They're selling the kits as well online, and it just creates an easy experience for people who already know and trust them. And when it comes to social media, people follow pages like that, and we also listen to when our friends and families recommend anything, or even just post a funny post, maybe even a cat video. That's all about creating that connection, and we keep that champions with us. So just bear that in mind. Use your current networks to market, and you can really thrive just on that, because your current networks are the ones who's going to share it to a wider network. And all businesses do that. You start off small and you grow and grow and grow. And using social media tools, especially things like Facebook, which is the only platform that's community based, to really grow and influence your community and your champions so they can influence their friends and family. With this, we want to offer a lasting impact. So we never just want to be stale about our messaging. It needs to be something absolutely different. It's something that will stay in people's minds. So I've seen some really creative advertising at the moment. There's a people like Spur again, who's doing home kits for kids currying in, and burgers and little goodie bags. And so those are lasting impacts. But then they also posting content of people asking, please can we go to Spur again? And I'm so desperate myself. So that's all part of the lasting impact. I even saw a really nice video where a kid created her whole Spur experience for her family at home. And that's just absolutely delightful, and really keeps your champions sending you content as well, but also keeps your new audiences curious on why is there such a craze about the shop or this business. And that really is what we're working towards at the moment. So I hope that it really grounds your thinking in terms of where we want to head with these digital tools. So I just want to remind you, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right for your business. It needs to be right for you, and it needs to be right for your audiences. Now let's chat about more digital tools. What's available right now? What can you use? And really what the benefits are. So my main thing with all these digital tools, especially things like websites, a website needs to be effective. So you don't do your bells and whistles. You start off with what features you want. Why do you want a website? In terms of online shops, the things that works really nicely is that I love the administrative side of things. Personally, I can't stand proof of payment. I don't know who else is with me here. But proof of payment is absolutely ghastly. It's just too much admin for me. So normally in business, we send to and fro emails, and then eventually someone's convinced, maybe a week later or 6 months later. I even had a client or someone come back to me after 5 years and purchased a website from me. And we just want to streamline this whole process of the to and fro. And if you hate admin, then this system will work amazingly for you. So the online shops will process, so it has a price point on the product item. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And then it process the order as soon as someone pays online. So there's no back and forth. It can give them an invoice straight away, and it's good to go. So this is exactly what you want to get to. It's that it completely optimizes your business. So you can spend time doing things that you love in your business instead of wasting time on admin when there's processes available for you already. We also talking about integrating a support ticketing system that's already linked to my team, that the work as task allocated and people are assigned to it, and it just gets done. So that also is helping us optimize. And these are just some of the digital tools we are using. The other tool that I love at the moment when it comes to online shops is an add-on for my bookings. So anyone who wants to book a consultation, they can visit my website and they will see my calendar. And more importantly, I can say when I want to have consultations. So right now we are only accepting 4 consultations a week, and that's on Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 to 4 o'clock, and it's all 1 hour each sessions. And people see what slots are available, they book it, and they pay immediately. Then they receive a notification for the meeting, and I'll receive one as well. That also helps just with the back and forth, and people can book at their own leisure. I had a client who booked initially, and then they booked again by themselves over the weekend using the online platform. It just helps reduce all that stress of waiting for proof of payment, waiting for confirmation. And with us, it was a mess with the calendar just to find slots that was available. So we pre-allocated the slots, and if it gets booked offline, it will automatically block it on the online platform. So that's working really well for us, and I do recommend it if you are in the coaching industry, especially if you're offering your time in any way or offering consulting, then that platform could work really, really nicely for you. The other thing that you would want for all your digitalizing efforts is to systemize all your admin, sales, and marketing. So with the sales, you could use something like MailChimp to filter through or create funnels. There's a system called ClickFunnels that works really effectively to generate new leads and keep existing leads, supporting your business going forward. You also have things like your marketing channels, so things like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, that's working absolutely amazingly at the moment. Personally, I noticed that Pinterest is doing really well in ranking, and Facebook is doing really well in connecting. So depending what you want to achieve, we can find the right platform for you. If you want to know more about which platform works best for which business, I have a free online course on socialmediaworkshops.co.za that you can go through, and I talk about all the different platforms in much more detail. The other tools that you can have is around communications. So we know with webinars, people are using Zoom or Skype or even Google Hangouts to set up webinars. There's also some fun apps available like House Party if you want to connect with your family, or maybe even have a VIP quiz experience with your best clients. And that, although it may just seem like a fun nonsense thing, all that is used to design around creating connection and keeping that connection. When it comes to your social media strategies, I want you to remember once again that you must digitalize. So the tone that you use when you speak needs to be a lot softer, needs to be a lot more conversational, needs to be a whole lot more honest. And that's definitely what we want to achieve when it comes to this type of marketing during this time. The other digital tools that I recommend is with regards to your teams, so how you manage your teams. So personally, our company is using Slack, which is more for formal WhatsApp, but you can separate channels and projects per clients. The other tool is ClickUp, which is used for task management, and we assign it to whoever's responsible for that task. And it's also a place where we can check notes from clients and just see where projects are, if it's waiting for any additional information, if it needs to be signed off or reviewed. That's all part of the offering that we have, or what systems we are using at the moment. If you need any assistance with any of that, you're welcome to book me for a consultation where I can help you with those tools. So the other digital tools that I quite like using is something you would never expect: a cell phone. A good old-fashioned phone call goes a long way with connecting to your champions. And this is digitalizing because it's all in digital frequencies, and it is connecting with your customers. So before lockdown started, I phoned every single one of my clients and just asked them how they are. And this is about connection. I didn't sell them anything. I didn't want them anything from them. I just honestly phoned them to see how they are. And a few of them resulted in additional sales for my business, which I didn't ask for directly. I just wanted to contact them. So that was just a good exercise to do. So about once a month or every 2 weeks, I sit down with my list of clients and I phone every single one of them. And this is a really nice practice to keep that connection, to keep your champions. I know some of you might be managing big stores or big clients, or over 100. It's what I would call big. So then it does get a bit difficult to manage all that. But you can still follow up using emails. You can send them a automated SMS, and that will work really well just to maintain their connections. Just on automations, there's a few very cool features. So things like what the booking feature is an automated feature that's part of automations. But on Facebook, you get automated messaging, and you also get automated messaging on WhatsApp. Now, there's a few controversial, or some people just don't like it, where they feel like they're talking to a robot. But you don't have to make it that way. You could make it seem like you're talking to you. So it's as if you were responding. So how do you normally respond? So just think the typical things. Someone says, hi, is your response, hi, how are you? Or is it, hi, here's my sales brochure? So just think, how do you use it? And just make it a lot more conversational. And that's basically what AI is on a very, very elementary level. But it's all designed to automate your workflow so you can just do what you love doing. When you are looking at all these digital tools, I don't want you to be overwhelmed. It can be, and you don't have to do everything in one go. So for websites, I strongly recommend starting off small. So you can start off with an online shop, and then say you want to have an add-on for syncing up with your delivery system. So I know Pago does a sync with WooCommerce shops that works really nice. And then you can add on features as your business matures. So there is an anxiety around website development that you need to have everything perfect. No, you don't. These are all dynamic tools. It's organic. It's not a fixed thing forever. It's not like your logo, but that can be changed. That these tools are designed to grow with your business. So it's not the be all and end all. It's definitely a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more forgiving than just putting a sales brochure in. Because if you have a mistake on your website, you can always go and edit it. There's nothing stopping you there. All the websites that we build, we give tutorial videos on how you can manage it on your own. So it's not stressful in terms on having to come back to a web designer or feeling that your web designer is keeping it hostage. So do keep that in mind if you are thinking of of doing a website with our company or anyone else, that you do have access to your business's website, so that when your business grows, you can grow the website and vice versa. Now, I do recommend doing that for your business, because that's the smartest way to growing forward. That's all for today. I hope you found today's session very useful. There was quite a bit of content in there. Please come back and rewatch it if you needed to sink in a bit more. I do cover a lot of this in a lot more detail and a workshop manner on my social media workshops. I have various for every platform, and the social media strategy is the most popular, because we dive deep into your brand, the target audience, as well as what messaging works for them. And I do recommend you look into that. I do have it on sale on the social media workshops page at the moment, and you're welcome to book me for consultation, or if you need a website, just let me know. I'll put my details below. Thank you. My name is Afsana from Endo by Design. I hope you enjoyed today's info session, and I look forward to hearing your businesses, where you are right now. If you're using these tools that I'm suggesting, please come back and comment below, so we can just have a sense of what people are implementing, what is working, and just an appreciation that you are growing and riding this wave. Until next time, goodbye.